Hello, girls and boys. Welcome to Storytime Fun. We hope you enjoy it. Today's story is out of the Bible Stories for Children book, as retold by Jeffrey Horn and Arthur Kavanagh. And today's story is called Pharaohs Dreams. After Joseph's brothers sold him into the caravan, he was taken to Egypt. He lived there for many years and became a trusted servant to an Egyptian official named Potiphar. But Potiphar's wife became angry with Joseph and told lies about him to her husband, who sent Joseph to the royal prison. And it came to pass that one day, while Joseph was in prison, the royal butler and baker offended Pharaoh, the Egyptian king, and he sent them to the same prison. Joseph was told to take care of them. One morning, when Joseph brought them their breakfast, both the butler and baker looked troubled. "Why do you look so sad?" asked Joseph. "Last night we had strange dreams," they said, "and no one can tell us what they mean." "Surely God knows what they mean," answered Joseph. "With his help, maybe I can explain the dreams to you." The butler spoke first. "I saw a vine with 3 branches," he said. The vine had buds, then suddenly it had blossoms, then ripe grapes. The next thing I knew, Pharaoh's cup was in my hand. I pressed the ripe grapes into Pharaoh's cup and handed it to him. Then Joseph answered, "This is what your dream means. The 3 branches are 3 days. In 3 days, Pharaoh will send for you, and you will be his butler again, just as before. When that happens, I hope you will remember me and mention me to the Pharaoh, for I am a Hebrew who was sold into Egypt and have done nothing wrong. I do not deserve to be in this prison." Joseph's words were so pleasing to the butler that the chief baker could not wait to tell Joseph about his dream too. "I dreamed I was carrying 3 white baskets on my head," he said. "In the top basket were all kinds of breads and cakes that I had baked for Pharaoh, but the birds were eating them." Then Joseph answered, "The 3 baskets are 3 days. In 3 days, Pharaoh will have your head cut off and hung from a high tree for all the birds to peck at." And it came to pass on the 3rd day, which was Pharaoh's birthday, that the king of Egypt freed the butler as Joseph had said he would, and ordered the death of the chief baker, as Joseph also had predicted. But the butler forgot about Joseph and did not mention him to Pharaoh. 2 full years passed. Then Pharaoh began to have strange dreams. They troubled him, and he called the wisest men in Egypt to tell him what they meant, but none of the wise men could explain the dreams. Then the butler remembered Joseph and said to Pharaoh, "Once when you were angry with me, you sent me to prison. There I met a young Hebrew slave who correctly told me the meaning of a dream I had." "Send this slave to me immediately," commanded Pharaoh. Pharaoh's servants rushed to the prison. There they found Joseph, shaved him and gave him fresh clothes, and brought him to Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, "I have dreamed a dream, and no one can explain it. But I have heard that you understand dreams and can tell their meaning." "Not by myself," replied Joseph. "God will give you your answer." So Pharaoh told Joseph all he had dreamed. "In my first dream," he said, "I was standing by a river bank, and I saw 7 fat cows come out of the water, followed by 7 thin ones. While I watched, the 7 thin and sickly cows ate the 7 fat and healthy ones. That was the end of my first dream. In my second dream, I saw 7 ears of ripe corn growing on a single stalk. Behind it grew another stalk, and 7 ugly and misshapen ears. And the 7 badly formed ears swallowed up the 7 ripe ears. I told all this to the wise men, but they could not explain the dreams to me. Then Joseph answered, both these dreams have the same meaning, for God has twice shown you what he is going to do. The 7 fat cows and the 7 ripe ears of corn, these are 7 good harvests. The 7 sick cows and the 7 ugly ears of corn, these are 7 bad harvests, when many people will die for lack of food. Now, therefore, find a good and honest man and give him the power to provide for the 7 bad years. Let him save some of the corn from each of the good harvests and store it in the cities. Then, when the poor harvests come, your people will have food to eat, though people in other lands may be starving. Pharaoh thought this was a good idea and told Joseph, since your God has shown you all this, you must be the wisest and most honest man in all the land. You shall live in my palace and rule over my land, and everyone but Pharaoh shall bow down to you. Then Pharaoh took a ring from his finger and placed it on Joseph's hand. He also gave Joseph robes of fine linen and placed a golden chain around his neck. Joseph rode in the chariot behind Pharaoh and was ruler of all Egypt. And Pharaoh gave Joseph an Egyptian named Zaphanath-Paneah. Through the 7 good harvests, Joseph gathered up corn as much as he could and saved it. And when the 7 good years ended, there was famine everywhere, but in Egypt there was food. That's it for today. See you next time.